This is not just a country, it's a living poem written by the gods of art, nature, and passion. From the golden coastlines of Amalfi to the silent peaks of the Dolomites, from the echoing streets of Rome to the turquoise lagoons of Venice, Italy is a journey through time, beauty, and emotion. Every cobblestone here holds a story. Every wave against its shores whispers centuries of secrets. It's where empires were built, where artists changed the world, and where life itself is celebrated as an art form. You don't just visit Italy, you feel it. You taste it. You live it. It's the smell of espresso at sunrise echoing through narrow alleys. It's the sound of church bells mingling with laughter and the clinking of wine glasses. It's the moment when you stand before the Colosseum and realize history is not something you read about. It's right in front of you, breathing. But beyond the postcards, beyond the pictures, lies another Italy. A hidden Italy, raw, cinematic, and real. The one that few ever truly see. This is a journey that will take you beyond the monuments and museums to the soul of this country, through its coastlines that shimmer like gold, its cities that pulse with ancient rhythm, and its hidden beauty that defies time itself. We'll walk through the ruins of Rome where every stone remembers glory and tragedy. We'll drift across the blue mirrors of Venice where dreams float on water. We'll stand atop the cliffs of Cinque Terre where the sea crashes against the heartbeat of humanity. And we'll lose ourselves in the hills of Tuscany where the world slows down and beauty breathes freely. This is Italy like you've never seen it, cinematic, emotional, and infinite. A land of art and chaos, of light and shadow, of passion and peace. A masterpiece crafted not just by human hands but by time itself. So take a deep breath, let go of where you are, and come with me into the soul of Italy. Because here, in this land where eternity meets the present, every moment becomes a story, and every view feels like forever. Welcome to Italy like you've never seen it. Imagine standing on ancient cobblestones, the air heavy with history, where every whisper of the wind feels like the echo of 1,000 stories. You look around, and nothing here feels ordinary. Every stone, every shadow, every golden light that touches the walls seems alive. This is Rome, not just a city, but a living, breathing monument to time itself. The eternal city where centuries overlap, where ancient empires and modern life share the same rhythm. This is where Italy's heart beats the loudest. As dawn breaks, the first light spills across the Colosseum, that colossal arena where gladiators once fought, not just for glory, but for life. The silence now feels almost sacred. You can almost hear the roar of the crowd, the clash of swords, the thunder of hooves. Time may have passed, but Rome never lets go of its legends. Every crack in the stone tells a story, not of ruin, but of resilience. Walk a little further and the air begins to hum with life. The scent of espresso wafts through narrow alleys. Locals talk with animated gestures. Vespas zip past marble fountains that have been flowing for centuries. Rome is not a museum. It's a symphony, ancient and alive, solemn and chaotic, elegant and raw. At the heart of this eternal rhythm stands the Pantheon, one of Rome's greatest wonders, built over 1,900 years ago. Its perfect dome opens to the heavens, a silent connection between man and the divine. When sunlight filters through the oculus and dances across the marble floor, you feel the bridge between earth and eternity. It's here you realize that Rome doesn't just preserve history, it breathes it. And then there's the Roman Forum, once the center of the ancient world. These ruins may stand in silence, but they carry the weight of voices that once shaped empires. Imagine senators debating, merchants trading, and philosophers dreaming under the same sky. Every broken column and worn pathway tells of ambition, power, and the fragile nature of glory. But Rome isn't trapped in the past. The present flows effortlessly into its timeless beauty. Step into Piazza Navona, where fountains sparkle beneath the sun, street performers fill the air with laughter, and the scent of gelato lingers as people gather, just as they have for centuries. Rome teaches you something profound, that life is meant to be lived fully, passionately, in every fleeting moment. Then, at sunset, the Trevi fountain glows like liquid gold. Tourists toss coins over their shoulders, each one making a wish to return. But as the water sparkles and cascades, you realize something: no one truly leaves Rome behind. Once it's touched your soul, you're forever a part of its story. Night falls, and the city transforms. The streets shimmer under warm lamplight. Musicians play soft melodies near ancient bridges. Lovers walk hand in hand along the Tiber River, the reflection of St. Peter's dome glowing in the distance. It's as if time itself pauses, allowing the city to dream. Then, there's Vatican City, the smallest country in the world, yet home to some of the greatest masterpieces ever created. Step inside St. Peter's Basilica, and you feel your breath catch. Michelangelo's Pietà, the soaring dome, the light that pierces through stained glass. It's not just art, it's divine revelation. Every brushstroke, every sculpture is a prayer carved in stone. And high above, the Sistine Chapel, a ceiling painted not just with colors, but with the essence of human creation. Rome has a strange magic. It doesn't just show you beauty, it reminds you of your own. It whispers that greatness is built not in a day, but over centuries of faith, struggle, and rebirth. It tells you that decay is not the end, it's transformation. That life, like Rome, must keep moving, keep evolving, yet never forget where it began. As you stand overlooking the city from the Palatine Hill, where Rome's very foundations were laid, you understand why it's called the Eternal City. The glow of its rooftops, the hum of its people, the silent strength of its ruins, all merge into one eternal heartbeat. Rome is not just a destination, it's an emotion, a reminder that time may change everything, but true beauty endures forever. Because here, in the heart of Italy, history isn't something you read, it's something you feel. And once you've felt Rome, you'll carry it with you, wherever you go. The sun rises over the rolling Tuscan hills, casting a golden glow across terracotta rooftops and church domes. As light spills over the Arno River, Florence awakens not with noise, but with quiet majesty. This city isn't just another stop in Italy. It's where human genius was reborn, the cradle of the Renaissance. A place where art, science, and beauty collided to shape the very soul of civilization. Welcome to Florence, the city where the world learned to dream again. Imagine walking through narrow cobblestone streets lined with timeless stone walls, their textures holding centuries of secrets. Each step takes you deeper into a masterpiece, painted not on canvas, but into the city itself. Here, beauty isn't an accessory, it's the foundation of life. Florence doesn't just display art, it is art. Your journey begins at the heart of it all, Piazza del Duomo. As you turn the corner, there it is, the Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore, or simply, the Duomo. Brunelleschi's dome towers over the city like a crown forged by the gods. It's not just an architectural wonder, it's a symbol of human ambition. Beneath its marble stripes of green, white, and pink lies a lesson that even the impossible can be achieved when vision meets courage. Step inside, and the silence humbles you. Rays of sunlight pour through stained glass, illuminating frescoes that stretch into heaven. Above, Giorgio Vasari's Last Judgment blazes in color, a reminder that life, art, and eternity are forever intertwined. As you climb the dome's spiraling steps, Florence unfolds below you, a living painting of red roofs, winding alleys, and the shimmering ribbon of the Arno. But Florence's soul isn't just found in its cathedrals, it thrives in its museums, its studios, its streets. At the Uffizi Gallery, you stand before Botticelli's Birth of Venus, and time stops. The delicate lines, the flow of her hair, the whisper of the sea, it's as if beauty itself was born here. Nearby, Da Vinci's genius watches silently from the walls, his sketches whispering the secrets of the universe. You can almost feel the pulse of the Renaissance, a time when humanity looked inward and discovered greatness. Outside, the city continues its own rhythm. Cross the Ponte Vecchio, the medieval bridge lined with jewelry shops glinting like treasure chests suspended over water. Gold and gems sparkle in the sunlight, but the real gem is the view, the reflection of Florence itself in the calm river below. As musicians play and laughter fills the air, you understand why love stories are born here. And then there's Palazzo Vecchio, Florence's symbol of strength. Its towering walls and battlements tell stories of power, intrigue, and rebellion. Inside, halls are adorned with murals that once inspired rulers and warned them of the weight of their crowns. It's a reminder that greatness is fragile, that beauty and power walk hand in hand, forever in tension. Yet, Florence isn't frozen in its glorious past. Its energy is alive in bustling cafes, in artists painting by the riverbank, in the clinking of glasses at sunset as locals share laughter over Chianti wine. The air here carries the scent of espresso, leather, and dreams. As evening falls, you make your way to Piazzale Michelangelo. The climb is steep, but the reward, breathtaking. From here, Florence stretches before you, the Duomo glowing like fire against the twilight sky. The bridges lit in gold, the Arno winding like liquid silk. The city breathes below you, timeless and serene. And then, the real magic happens. The sun dips below the horizon, and Florence turns to light. Bells echo through the hills, and for a brief moment, the world feels still. You realize you're standing in a city that changed everything, where ideas, colors, and courage reshaped humanity. Florence is more than just the Renaissance reborn. It's proof that the human spirit can reach beyond limitation and touch eternity. It reminds us that art is not luxury, it's necessity. That beauty isn't vanity, it's purpose. And that every masterpiece, whether painted, sculpted, or lived, begins with a single spark of belief. As you walk back through the city's glowing streets, you pass a sculptor chiseling marble, a painter lost in their brushstrokes, and a musician playing softly to the stars. The Renaissance never ended, it simply found new hearts to live in. Because Florence isn't just a city, it's a revelation, a reminder that within each of us lies the power to create, to transform, and to leave something beautiful behind. This is Florence, the city of light, art, and rebirth. A place where time stands still and dreams, once born, never die. At sunrise, a soft mist curls over the canals of Venice, and the city seems to rise not from water, but from a dream. The first rays of light touch domes, bridges, and bell towers, turning the lagoon into liquid gold. Gondolas glide silently through the narrow waterways, and the sound of rippling water replaces the hum of engines. There are no roads here, only reflections. No traffic, only time flowing like a tide. This is Venice, a city that doesn't just defy logic, but gravity itself. Venice is a miracle, built on more than 100 small islands, resting atop wooden piles driven deep into the seabed. It's a masterpiece of human determination, a city that shouldn't exist, yet does. And not just exist, it thrives, timeless and mesmerizing. Every building here tells a story of triumph against nature, of a civilization that chose art over fear, beauty over practicality. The journey begins at the beating heart of Venice Piazza San Marco, or Street Mark Square. As you step into the open plaza, surrounded by centuries of history, you feel as if you've entered a painting. The grand arches of the Doge's palace, the intricate mosaics of Street Mark's basilica, and the watchful gaze of the Campanile Tower stand in perfect harmony. When the bells ring and the pigeons scatter, time itself seems to shiver. Inside the basilica, gold gleams from every corner. The famous Byzantine mosaics shimmer under soft light, telling tales of faith, power, and eternity. It's said that no matter where you look in Venice, you're surrounded by art, but here, even the air feels sacred. Outside, the Doge's palace tells another story of rulers and republics, of intrigue and intellect. The delicate Gothic windows, carved like lace and stone, overlook the Bridge of Sighs, where prisoners once took their last look at freedom. But Venice isn't just history. It's emotion alive and moving, like the waters that cradle it. You board a gondola, and as your oarsman hums a quiet tune, the boat drifts through narrow canals so intimate they feel like veins of the city itself. The scent of salt water and aged brick fills the air. Laundry hangs from balconies, flowers spill from window boxes, and laughter echoes faintly from above. Venice isn't grand in this moment, it's human, real, breathing. As you pass under arched bridges, you see glimpses of Venetian life, locals sipping espresso at canal-side cafes, children feeding swans, and artists sketching scenes that will outlive them. You float past palazzos with peeling paint and faded frescoes, their beauty not diminished by age, but deepened. In Venice, imperfection is perfection, because here, decay isn't the end of beauty. It's part of it. The Grand Canal curves through the city like a silver serpent, lined with magnificent palaces, each one a story carved in stone. The Rialto Bridge, with its graceful arches and bustling shops, offers a view that captures Venice's soul, a blend of elegance, chaos, and endless charm. At night, lights dance on the water, turning the canals into rivers of stars. Music drifts from open windows. The city whispers, and you can't help but listen. You wander into the Venetian ghetto, one of the oldest Jewish quarters in the world. It's quieter here, a place of reflection and resilience. The narrow alleys tell stories not just of struggle, but of survival, of how even in isolation, culture and creativity found ways to flourish. Venice, after all, has always been a sanctuary for the spirit. Then, you find yourself in Murano, where the ancient art of glassblowing comes alive. Inside glowing furnaces, masters shape molten glass with breath and precision, transforming fire into crystal. Each piece reflects centuries of tradition, skill, and pride. A short ride away, Murano bursts into color, every house painted in vivid hues of blue, pink, and yellow. It's said that fishermen once painted them so brightly to see their homes through the fog. Today, it feels like stepping into a dream painted by the Sunday. As the day fades, you return to the lagoon. The sky deepens into shades of orange and purple, and the reflection of the city shimmers across the still water. From a distance, Venice looks almost unreal, a vision of light floating between sea and sky. It's easy to believe that it was built by magic, not men. But perhaps the real magic lies in what Venice teaches us, that fragility can be strength, that beauty can exist even in transience, and that sometimes, to truly live, we must surrender to the flow. As night falls, you hear the faint notes of a violin drifting through the canals. Couples walk hand in hand beneath lanterns, their shadows swaying with the rhythm of the water. The sound of footsteps on ancient stones, the murmur of waves against marble Venice doesn't speak loudly. It sings softly, eternally, because this is not just a city. It's a heartbeat on water, a poem written in tides, a reminder that time, like the sea, may wash over everything, but true beauty always floats. This is Venice, the floating dream of Italy, a place where history breathes, light dances, and the human spirit defies the impossible. There are cities that rise, and cities that fall, but there is only one city that has lived through every rise, every fall, and still stands eternal. Beneath the blazing sun of central Italy lies Rome, a city that doesn't just tell history, it is history. Every street here is a timeline, every stone a witness, every echo a voice from another age. This is the eternal city where past and present walk hand in hand, where empires may crumble, but glory never fades. The first sight of the Colosseum takes your breath away. Massive, ancient, and powerful, it dominates the landscape, like a sleeping giant carved from time itself. You stand before it, and the air feels heavier, charged with memory. 2,000 years ago, this was the heart of Rome's power, where gladiators fought for honor, where crowds of 50,000 roared for blood and triumph. The walls, scarred by centuries, still hold their whispers, the pulse of empire, the thrill of spectacle, the shadow of mortality. As sunlight spills through the arches, you can almost hear the clash of swords, the roar of lions, the gasp of awe. Yet, it's not just a ruin, it's a monument to resilience. The Colosseum has survived fire, earthquakes, invasions, and time itself. Like Rome, it endures. Just beyond lies the Roman Forum, where the empire once ruled the known world. Here, senators debated the fate of nations, generals paraded their victories, and the voice of Caesar echoed beneath marble columns. Today, grass grows between the stones, and silence reigns where power once thundered, yet the spirit remains. As you walk through the ruins, you realize you're not just seeing history, you're walking through it. Nearby, Palatine Hill rises, the birthplace of Rome, the hill where Romulus is said to have founded the city in 753 BC. From its summit, the view stretches over the ruins of temples and arches, and beyond, to the city that still thrives. It's a moment of perspective to stand where legends were born and see their legacy alive in every corner below. And then, you step into a different world, Vatican City, the smallest state on earth and the spiritual heart of millions. As you enter St. Peter's Basilica, the vast dome designed by Michelangelo soars above like the heavens themselves. The marble floor glistens under the light, pouring through stained glass, and everywhere you look, art and divinity merge. You gaze up at the Pietà, the delicate sculpture of Mary holding Christ carved when Michelangelo was only 24, and it's impossible not to feel humbled. The Sistine Chapel pulls you deeper still into that divine human expression, where Michelangelo's frescoes unfold the story of creation across the ceiling. The hand of God, reaching toward atoms, it's not just art. It's the eternal spark of connection between heaven and man, between time and eternity. Yet Rome is not all marble and mythology. Beyond the grandeur lies a living, breathing city full of life, laughter, and chaos. In Trastevere, cobblestone streets twist through a maze of golden light and rustic charm. Laundry flutters from balconies. The scent of espresso and pizza fills the air, and every trattoria hums with conversation. Here, Rome slows down not to rest, but to savor. You sit at a small cafe, and time bends again. The espresso is strong, the air is warm, and somewhere, an accordion plays. Children run across piazzas, chasing pigeons, lovers lean close beneath fountains, and old men argue passionately about football. In this rhythm of daily life, you find the soul of the city not in monuments, but in moments. The Trevi Fountain glows like liquid marble, its waters cascading under moonlight. Legend says if you throw a coin over your shoulder, you're destined to return to Rome. You watch tourists follow the ritual, laughter echoing against the stone, and you can't help but join in. The coin hits the water with a soft splash, a promise made to the city that never lets go. As evening falls, the Pantheon opens its arms. Its perfect dome, the largest unreinforced concrete structure in the world, remains as flawless today as when it was built nearly 2,000 years ago. When you step inside, sunlight pours through the oculus, a single open eye to the sky. Dust particles dance in the beam like stars suspended in motion. It's pure geometry, pure divinity, a space where human brilliance and divine inspiration meet. Then, night descends, and Rome transforms. The streets glow under lamplight. The Tiber River reflects the shimmer of bridges, and the city hums with a soft, ancient heartbeat. The Colosseum gleams once more, this time in golden light, majestic against the night sky. Street musicians play violins near the Spanish Steps, and laughter spills from open windows. You realize Rome is not frozen in the past, it's alive in the present, carrying every century in its veins. It's the rhythm of eternity, where emperors, artists, saints, and strangers all share the same heartbeat. And as you walk one last time through the moonlit streets, you understand why they call it the Eternal City. Because no matter how the world changes, no matter what empires rise or fall, Rome remains timeless, unshaken, eternal. There are coastlines, and then there is the Amalfi Coast, a stretch of land so breathtaking it feels like the earth itself was sculpted by a divine hand. Imagine cliffs that plunge into turquoise seas, pastel towns clinging to rock faces, and roads that twist like ribbons through paradise. This is Italy's dream made real, the place where beauty and impossibility coexist. And the moment you see it, you know this isn't just a coastline. It's a masterpiece. The journey begins on the serpentine Amalfi Drive, a road that defies reason and gravity. Each curve reveals another vision: lemon groves cascading down hillsides, terracotta rooftops glinting in the sun, and the endless shimmer of the Mediterranean below. The scent of citrus fills the air, mixed with sea salt and wild herbs. It's not just a drive, it's a dance between the mountains and the sea. A road that leads you not just to destinations, but into wonder itself. And then, nestled between the cliffs, lies Positano, a village that looks like it was painted into existence. The houses tumble down the hillside in shades of peach, pink, and gold, stacked like dreams on stone. You descend narrow steps that weave between cafes, boutiques, and bougainvillea-covered balconies. Every turn is a postcard, every view surreal. On the beach below, wooden boats bob on the sapphire water, and the laughter of travelers mingles with the rhythm of waves. Positano isn't a place you simply see, it's a place you feel. You feel it in the warmth of the sun on your face, the taste of fresh limoncello, the music drifting from a hidden terrace at twilight. It's where time dissolves, replaced by a rhythm that feels older, slower, softer. Further along the coast lies Amalfi, the town that gave its name to this legendary shoreline. Once a powerful maritime republic, Amalfi's narrow streets now tell tales of trade, faith, and fortune. Its centerpiece, the Cathedral of St. Andrew, rises dramatically with striped arches and golden mosaics that shimmer in the light. Inside, silence reigns a sacred pause amid the coastal hum. Nearby, the Cloister of Paradise lives up to its name, a quiet sanctuary lined with white marble columns and delicate arches, where palm trees sway in stillness. You walk through, and it feels like stepping into another century. The echoes of monks, sailors, and dreamers linger in the air, reminding you that even paradise has history. Then comes Ravello, perched high above the coast, where sea and sky merge into infinity. Ravello is where artists and poets once came to chase inspiration, and it's easy to see why. The views from Villa Ruffolo and Villa Simbrone stretch endlessly, terraced gardens bursting with flowers, overlooking a sea that glows like molten glass under the Sunday. Here, the world feels suspended, still, timeless, and impossibly beautiful. As the sun begins to set, you stand on a terrace overlooking the coast. The light turns golden, then crimson, then violet. Villages light up, one by one, their windows glowing against the cliffs. The sea reflects every hue: blue, gold, silver, and finally, black, until the horizon vanishes into night. Somewhere below, you can hear laughter from a seaside trattoria, the clink of glasses, the melody of a mandolin. It's not hard to believe that this coast has inspired love stories, paintings, and poetry for centuries. You taste the flavors of the region: handmade pasta with lemon sauce, grilled seafood caught just hours before, and the sweet tang of local wine. The food here isn't just a meal, it's part of the landscape, born from the sea and the soil, crafted by hands that have known this rhythm for generations. Then, in the quiet of night, when the tourists have gone and the waves are the only sound, the Amalfi Coast reveals its true self, not as a destination, but as a feeling of surrender, of stillness, of belonging to something far greater than yourself. It's easy to see why people call this coast divine. Every village, every cliff, every shimmering wave feels like a prayer written by nature itself. It's not perfection that makes the Amalfi Coast beautiful, it's the way it makes you feel alive. As the moon rises over the Tyrrhenian Sea, you realize that some places aren't meant to be rushed, photographed, or even fully understood. They're meant to be felt. And this is one of them. The Amalfi Coast is not just Italy's paradise. It's the world's promise that beauty can still take your breath away. There are landscapes that you simply see, and then there's Tuscany, a place you feel deep within your soul. The moment you arrive, the world seems to slow down. The rolling hills stretch endlessly into the horizon, painted in shades of gold, green, and amber. Vineyards ripple across the countryside like waves. Olive trees shimmer, silver in the wind, and cypress-lined roads lead to timeless stone villages perched high on hilltops. Tuscany isn't just a region, it's a living painting, a symphony of earth and sky that has remained almost unchanged for centuries. As dawn breaks, a soft mist drifts through the valleys. The first rays of sunlight illuminate the fields, turning them into oceans of gold. Somewhere in the distance, a church bell rings, and the scent of freshly baked bread mingles with the air. This is the soul of Italy. Quiet, graceful, eternal. You start your journey in Florence, the cradle of the Renaissance, a city that changed the world with art, architecture, and ideas. Every street, every corner, feels like an open-air museum. The Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore, with its majestic dome by Brunelleschi, towers over the city like a crown. Its marble facade glows in the sunlight, intricate and divine. As you step inside, you can feel the echoes of the geniuses who once walked these very streets. Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, Botticelli, dreamers who gave birth to beauty itself. You stand before Michelangelo's David, and for a moment time stops. The perfection of every curve, every detail, is almost too human to be real, yet too perfect to be human. Florence teaches you that art is not just seen, it's experienced. It's the language of the soul, eternal and untranslatable. Leaving Florence behind, you travel through the countryside towards Siena, a medieval gem surrounded by rolling hills. Its heart, the Piazza del Campo, is unlike any other square in the world, shell-shaped and filled with life. Here, the famous Palio di Siena takes place, a horse race that has been run for centuries, not for money, but for honor. The flags, the chants, the thunder of hooves, it's a reminder that tradition is the heartbeat of Tuscany. As the sun begins to dip lower, the hills turn to fire. You wander into San Gimignano, the city of beautiful towers. Its skyline, bristling with medieval stone towers, tells tales of rival families and forgotten wealth. Walking its cobbled lanes feels like stepping into a storybook, each building whispering stories of merchants, pilgrims, and poets who once called it home. And from the top of the tallest tower, the view stretches beyond imagination, vineyards, villages, and a horizon that seems to never end. The road winds further, deeper into the countryside, where time itself seems to pause. You arrive in Val d'Orcia, one of the most picturesque valleys on earth. It's no wonder artists and filmmakers have long fallen in love with it. The perfect geometry of fields, the dance of light and shadow, the lonely farmhouse framed by cypress trees. It's Tuscany, at its purest, silent, soulful, and utterly captivating. You visit Montepulciano, a town famous for its wine and Renaissance charm. Here, wine isn't just a drink, it's an art form. The deep red Vino Nobile di Montepulciano is crafted from grapes that thrive under the Tuscan sun, aged in ancient cellars that smell of oak and history. You take a sip, and it's like tasting the land itself, earthy, warm, alive. As evening falls, you find yourself in Pienza, a small town designed as a Renaissance ideal, perfect symmetry, perfect proportion, perfect peace. The air is filled with the scent of pecorino cheese, and from the town's edge, you look out over the endless valley, bathed in golden light. It's a moment so still, so beautiful, that words seem unnecessary. Dinner is simple, handmade pasta, fresh olive oil, local cheese, and a glass of wine that glows like ruby in the candlelight. The people here don't rush, they savor. Every bite, every conversation, every sunset is an act of gratitude. That's the Tuscan way to live, not fast, but full. As night blankets the hills, you sit outside under a canopy of stars. The cicadas hum, the air is cool, and the horizon glows faintly with the memory of the day. In Tuscany, you don't just travel, you return to something ancient, something essential. You rediscover the beauty of simplicity, the luxury of slowness, and the art of being present. The land of Tuscany doesn't shout, it whispers. It tells you that life, like wine, takes time to mature. That beauty isn't in perfection, but in the quiet harmony between nature and humanity. And as you close your eyes, you realize Tuscany isn't just a place on the map. It's a place within you. There are cities built on land. And then there is Venice, a miracle built on water, suspended between time and tide. The first glimpse of it feels like stepping into a dream. The city rises from the lagoon like a vision, its domes and bell towers shimmering in the reflection of the canals. Gondolas glide silently beneath stone bridges, the sound of water lapping against ancient walls echoing through narrow passageways. Venice isn't just seen, it's felt, like a heartbeat beneath the waves, timeless and hauntingly beautiful. As the sun begins to rise, a soft mist hovers over the Grand Canal. The water glows gold and pink, and the silhouettes of gondoliers appear like shadows from another era. You can almost hear the whisper of history. In the rippling water, centuries of merchants, lovers, and artists who once called this floating city home. Venice is a place where every turn leads to poetry, where every canal is a reflection of both the city and the soul. You begin your journey at Piazza San Marco, the heart of Venice. As you step into the square, the magnificence of St. Mark's Basilica takes your breath away. Its domes glitter under the morning sun, covered in mosaics that tell stories of saints and empires. Inside, light pours through golden glass, turning the entire basilica into a celestial dream. Nearby, the Campanile, Venice's iconic bell tower, stands like a sentinel watching over the lagoon. From its top, the view stretches endlessly: terracotta rooftops, winding canals, and a horizon that fades into blue infinity. Across the piazza stands the Doge's Palace, a masterpiece of Gothic architecture. Once home to Venice's rulers, it's a labyrinth of marble columns, frescoed halls, and secrets whispered through the ages. Walking through its grand corridors, you can almost hear the echo of political debates, the rustle of velvet robes, and the quiet footsteps of power. From its rear, the Bridge of Sighs arches gracefully over a narrow canal, once the last view of sunlight for prisoners before their cells. The name, poetic and tragic, captures Venice perfectly. Beauty and melancholy intertwined like the tides. You wander deeper into the maze of canals and alleys, where life moves at the rhythm of water. Laundry hangs from balconies, gondolas drift beneath archways, and the air smells faintly of sea salt and espresso. Each turn reveals another hidden piazza, another story waiting to be discovered. Venice has no cars, no noise, no rush, just the quiet harmony of human and water, stone and sky. At the Rialto Bridge, merchants still sell fruits, flowers, and fish, just as they did hundreds of years ago. From the top of the bridge, You watch the life of the city unfold below boats carrying supplies, locals chatting from windows, tourists mesmerized by the dance of light on water. It's a reminder that, despite time's passing, Venice remains alive, fragile, yet unyielding. As afternoon fades into golden light, you drift along the Grand Canal. Palaces line the waterway, like pearls, each one with its own story, its own echo of the past. The Ca' d'Oro, with its lace-like facade, glows as if carved from sunlight. The Palazzo Grassi, elegant and imposing, still hosts art and culture centuries later. The beauty of Venice lies not just in its grandeur, but in its details: the sound of a violin from a distant balcony, the reflection of a single lantern flickering on the water, the quiet smile of an old Venetian watching the sunset. You reach the island of Murano, where the art of glassmaking has been passed down for generations. Inside fiery workshops, artisans craft delicate glass sculptures that seem too fragile to exist. Every swirl, every shimmer captures the essence of Venice, translucent, fleeting, eternal. Not far away lies Burano, an island painted in color. Each house is a different hue: pink, blue, yellow, green, creating a kaleidoscope of joy that mirrors on the canal. Here, life feels simpler, more human. Fishermen repair nets, children laugh in the streets, and lacemakers continue a craft as old as the city itself. As evening falls, Venice transforms again. The streets grow quieter, the water darker, and the city seems to exhale. You find yourself in a small trattoria beside a canal, the air rich with the scent of seafood and fresh herbs. The table flickers with candlelight, and the only sound is the gentle splash of passing gondolas. Dinner is simple risotto nero, wine from the Veneto hills, and the feeling that time no longer exists. When night fully descends, you step back into the open air. The lagoon mirrors the stars, and the city glows, softly, lanterns reflecting like constellations on the water. You take a slow gondola ride through the silent canals. The water ripples beneath the oar, each stroke creating a small shimmer of silver. Above you, the moonlight dances on domes and bridges. Venice at night feels almost unreal, a dream suspended between sea and sky. It's beautiful, fragile, and eternal all at once. You realize that Venice isn't just a city to visit. It's a city to feel deeply, quietly, endlessly. It reminds you that beauty doesn't need to last forever to be unforgettable. Like the tides that rise and fall, Venice teaches you that transience itself is the purest form of magic. There's a place where fire meets sea, where ancient temples rise beside volcanic slopes. Sicily, the soul of the Mediterranean. This is not just an island. It's a world of contrasts, raw, dramatic, and endlessly beautiful. From the smoldering craters of Mount Etna to the sun-soaked shores of Taormina, Sicily pulses with the spirit of every civilization that ever touched its soil. Here, every stone tells a story of gods, empires, and people who lived fiercely, leaving behind traces that still burn in the island's heart. The moment your feet touch Sicilian ground, you feel the energy shift, the scent of citrus in the air, the heat of the sun on your skin, the hum of life in every corner. Sicily doesn't whisper, it sings. It begins in Palermo, the island's capital, a city of dazzling chaos and ancient wonder. The streets are alive with sound. Vespas weaving through narrow lanes, vendors calling out at markets, and church bells echoing from distant domes. Here, Arab domes sit beside Baroque cathedrals. Byzantine mosaics shimmer beside Roman relics. It's a mosaic of history, a living museum of cultures. In the heart of Palermo stands the Palatine Chapel, a masterpiece of golden light. Its walls are covered in intricate mosaics, Christ Pantocrator gazing down with eternal calm, surrounded by patterns that seem to breathe. It's one of the most stunning examples of medieval art in the world, and as sunlight filters through, the chapel feels less like a building and more like heaven reflected on earth. From Palermo, the journey winds through Sicily's countryside, golden hills dotted with olive trees and lemon groves. Small villages cling to mountaintops, their terracotta roofs glowing in the afternoon light. In the distance, you can see Mount Etna, rising like a god from the earth. Smoke curls from its peak, a reminder that this island is alive beneath your feet. Etna is both creator and destroyer. It has shaped Sicily for millennia, carving its landscapes and enriching its soil. Climbing its slopes is an experience like no other. As you ascend, the air grows cooler, and the ground turns from green to black volcanic rocks stretching endlessly, scarred and beautiful. Standing near the summit, you feel the earth rumble faintly, a heartbeat beneath the clouds. The view stretches far beyond the island to the Ionian Sea, to Calabria across the strait, to eternity itself. There's a silence up here that feels sacred, interrupted only by the wind and the whisper of fire below. From Etna's summit, you descend to the coast to Taormina, one of the most breathtaking towns in Italy. Perched high above the sea, it's a blend of elegance and myth. The ancient Greek theater, carved into the mountainside, opens to a view that seems too perfect to be real, the sea stretching to the horizon, Etna smoking gently in the distance. As the sun sets, the theater glows in amber light, and you can almost imagine ancient actors performing under the stars. Taormina's narrow streets are lined with boutiques, flower-draped balconies, and hidden courtyards filled with music. Further south lies Syracuse, once the greatest city of the ancient world. It was here that Greek philosophers debated, poets wrote, and warriors dreamed. The Ortigia Island, its old heart, is a labyrinth of Baroque palaces, marble piazzas, and ancient ruins cradled by the sea. The Temple of Apollo still stands, its columns worn but unbroken, a reminder that beauty endures even after empires fall. At sunset, the water around Ortigia glows gold, and the air fills with the scent of sea salt and jasmine. But Sicily's story isn't just written in its ruins, it's alive in its people. The warmth of a Sicilian smile, the laughter echoing through narrow alleys, the generosity of strangers inviting you to taste homemade wine. It's what makes the island unforgettable. And then there's the food. Arancini, golden rice balls stuffed with meat or cheese. Pasta alla norma, rich with eggplant and tomato. And of course, cannoli, crispy shells filled with sweet ricotta. Every bite tells a story of heritage, of survival, of love for life itself. Heading west, you reach the Valley of the Temples in Agrigento, one of the most awe-inspiring archaeological sites on Earth. Here, the ruins of ancient Greek temples stand against a backdrop of blue sky and rolling olive groves. The Temple of Concordia, perfectly preserved, glows in the evening light, its columns blazing gold as the sun dips below the horizon. It's a sight that leaves you speechless, a meeting of nature, history, and divine artistry. And finally, as your journey through Sicily draws to a close, you find yourself at the edge of the sea, perhaps in Cefalù, a charming coastal town where the mountains meet the waves. The medieval cathedral towers over narrow streets, and the water sparkles like liquid sapphire. Locals stroll along the promenade, children play by the shore, and fishermen mend their nets as they have for centuries. You sit by the sea, the air warm and fragrant, watching the sun melt into the Mediterranean. Sicily is not a place you visit, it's a place that claims you. It burns itself into your memory with fire and fragrance, with music and silence. It's the island where gods once walked, where every sunset feels like a promise, and every dawn like a new beginning. As you leave, you realize that Sicily has given you something rare, a glimpse of life at its most vivid, its most passionate, its most eternal. As the sun sets over the Mediterranean, Italy glows not just in color, but in spirit. From the ancient streets of Rome to the cliffs of Amalfi, From the silent vineyards of Tuscany to the volcanic heart of Sicily, this journey has been more than travel. It's been a rediscovery of life itself. You came here searching for beauty, but somewhere along the way, you found something deeper: belonging. Because in Italy, beauty isn't a destination, it's a language. It's spoken through laughter over dinner, through the warmth of a stranger's smile, through a painter's brushstroke and the silence of an old cathedral. This is a land that teaches you that perfection doesn't live in symmetry. It lives in feeling, in imperfection, in the way time leaves its mark and calls it history. As you look back, the images flicker in your mind like a dream: the marble glow of Florence at dawn, the mist over Lake Como, the soft hum of gondolas in Venice, the rolling golden fields of Tuscany, and the fiery heart of Sicily beneath a glowing sky. Italy isn't just a place you see, it's a place that changes you. It reminds you to slow down, to savor moments instead of counting them, to love fiercely, live loudly, and never stop creating. Here, time doesn't pass, it dances. And as the music fades, you realize that Italy is not an escape from reality. It is reality the way it was meant to be. So, wherever you are watching from, remember this: you don't need to travel to feel alive. You just need to look at the world with the eyes of wonder, the way Italy does, every single day. Until next time, keep your heart open, your soul curious, and your dreams vast as the Italian horizon. Because the world is full of wonders, but some, like Italy, will always stay with you. Thank you for watching Italy like you've never seen it. And remember, beauty, like life, is meant to be explored. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed exploring Prague as much as I enjoyed guiding you through it. If you found this travel guide helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more beautiful destinations from around the world. Got a favorite spot in Prague? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, safe travels, and see you in the next video.